I'm here with Rusty Rogers, head coach of the Cougar women's basketball team, and we have quite a few areas to cover today. Let's start off with your most recent game, which was last Tuesday, and it was a big victory for the Cougars, coming from behind in the last couple minutes to win 95-89. And Rusty, we had a quick chat in our post-game interview afterwards, but I think we have to start with this again. That was just such a team victory. There were so many contributions on so many levels to pull that one out.
The ebb and flow of that game was it was so drastic, so dramatic. Playing well, then not playing so well, and then getting near the end, and it looked like we weren't going to be able to succeed. And then the team rallied. Like you said, it was from a lot of different people and a lot of key plays by a lot of individuals throughout the roster. So in that regard, it was a really good team victory for us, and hopefully it's going to propel us into a really busy week this week.
Now, Rusty, this is something you might not think of, when you consider that Alverno scored 89 points in that game, but the defense was just such a big factor in that game. I went back and looked over the play-by-play and the steals in that game. Courtney had a half dozen, a couple in the last few minutes. Haley Lindblom, who we named as our Women's Athlete of the Week, she had a big steal in the stretch run of that game. And, even in a high-scoring game like that, defense, it's an old cliche, but defense wins games.
Very true. I've been coaching this system for over 30 years, and one of the things that I've learned over the years is you just stick with the pressure. Sometimes it causes the other team a lot of good opportunities to score. Many times I've seen it where it just wears the other team out, and at some point in time, the defense comes through for you. And I thought that was the case in Alverno. Our defense was shoddy at times, but we just kept at it, and eventually, like you said, it became the determining factor in us being able to win that ball game.
Just thinking of the word pressure, I think it's also fair to say that you have a bunch of players, including some of the younger athletes, who are really learning through the course of the season how to react under pressure during the course of a game.
Yeah, it's been an interesting season for me, being my first year here and implementing a system that's pretty dramatically different than the one that was employed before. And one of the keys that's kind of gone unnoticed throughout this whole year is that I've actually coached two of these kids in high school, so they know me well. They lead to a little bit of a credibility factor with the other players, and they understand the system backwards and forwards. So that's really been a real blessing for me, is to be able to coach two girls that I coached throughout high school with the exact same system. And getting that buy-in is maybe a little bit easier because of that. And having some early success in terms of wins and losses also obviously was a factor as well in gaining their faith and their trust. And as the system implements, goes through the course of the year, as we put it to practice, it just perpetuates itself. And hopefully we can carry that on and get better and better at this system.
All right, Rusty, as we said, a big win for the Cougars there. I've had some time off since that game to maybe enjoy it a little bit and rest up. And now we have a big week ahead for the team, starting on Wednesday night with a big home game against Rockford.
Rockford really gave us all that we could handle at their place earlier in the season. Not many people realize, but it was very much like an Alverno game. They had opportunities to win that game on several occasions, and we managed to clamp down the defense at the end of the game and really solidified our position and ended up winning that game. So we are not taking Rockford lightly. We're in an inevitable position in the standings of we slip up one time and it's going to cost us one or two places in our standings. So our backs are against the wall. We got to win every one of these games in the conference to really get where we want to go in terms of a playoff berth. So the pressure's on us each and every game, doesn't matter who we're playing, and I have a lot of respect for Rockford. They have a lot of weapons. They're a good team, and fortunately it's on our court. We usually play better on our court. So hopefully we're going to come out ready to play Wednesday night.
All right. Following the Rockford game, the team will make its way to Ann Arbor for 2 games this weekend at the Concordia Invitational tournament. Rusty, as you mentioned, this is your first year here in River Forest. What have you heard from maybe some of the athletes, maybe even some of the other coaches or Concordia staff people? What have you heard about how big a weekend this generally is in terms of the basketball year?
Yeah, I just keep saying to myself, what's the big hubbub? I mean, it's not even a conference game, and everybody looks at me like I'm crazy. So I have a brother that played here at Concordia Chicago back in the 80s, and he warned me that this is one of the biggest events in all of small college basketball in the country. And I've coached in the national tournament several times, so I have nothing to compare it to. So I'm really curious to see what it's all about, to be honest with you. My focus has been entirely on our conference. So it'll be really interesting. I see this as a distraction to what we're trying to do with our conference. So I have kind of a negative view of it at this point, and everybody tells me that I've talked to about this that that's going to change instantly when I get there. So really looking forward to it. I understand there's a lot of buzz around it. It's going to be a really, really difficult first draw for us in the tournament, but we're going to go out there and play as hard as we can and let the chips fall where they may.
All right, Rusty. Well, we look forward to talking to you again next Monday after you've gone through your first CIT. And in the meantime, wish you and the Cougars a great upcoming week.
Thank you.